Okay, we're going to continue on this month where we have no idea what's going to come out of our mouth. I mean, we never really know, but we usually have a clue of the direction we're headed.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
This time, thanks to Suzan, our guest that is with us, and we are still going to make sure that you get insider tips, making house home, building wealth wisely through real estate, and you can still get access to them on our YouTube channel. So if you kind of want to watch the antics, not just listen to them, there's free access to like over 700 of these. Really, there's over 2,100 10-minute segments.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So you might not want to know all that, but we are hoping you're going to want to know because it positions you to make better decisions when you understand what's going on in the background. Mm-hmm. Even what we might not be aware is going on in the background is coming out. So we're just going to continue this crazy exploration dialogue.
And I'm going to turn it over to Suzanne to ask the dreaded question. Here we go.
Oh, they're great questions. Come on. So I believe that all of us have an inner compass. I call it my personal GPS. It's my guide. And I know when I'm on the right track and I know when something's off. In other words, I'm not living a value that's important to me.
You mean when you're not on the inside track, you're on the outside track?
That's kind of
like that?
I'm totally derailed, right? And you can feel it in your body. Your intuition kicks in. Your conscience sometimes starts to scream at you. So what I really want everyone to get is, what are the values that guide the Dekker team that are so important that when you don't respect them, you can feel it in your core, in your being?
Okay, I have one that's just like sitting in every cell in my body right now. And I think it comes from some of the stories I was sharing in segment A, which is about we didn't feel like we were being done right by. Mm. We felt like other realtors did not have our best interest at heart.
Okay.
That they were working for themselves rather than for us. So I think from the very beginning, even before I was a realtor, we were working for our clients. A little bit because we want them to live where we want to live, but we didn't want them to live there if it wasn't good for them.
Yeah.
Right? We chose the people that we thought would want to stay in that depth of community with us when we invited them out. We didn't just put an ad out and start, soliciting for those people. They were people we already had connection and relationship with. So I think for me, doing right by the client is at the corner and the center of everything.
So everything we do is client-centric is what you're saying.
Yeah. And when we take care of the client, when we're meant to win too, we win. Mm-hmm. And when we're not, we don't. And that's okay. Because in the big picture, when you as the client wins, I as the service professional feel really good about going to sleep at night.
Well, I think the other part is if you give me great service, I can't help but talk about it. And
sure.
And so there's a domino effect of when you do client-centered work.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's principle rule 101, right? Yeah. Like there is the law of reciprocity. There is all those things. Even deeper than that for us, though, is just do the right thing by the client.
Yeah.
Tell them when you see a leak in the foundation and don't pretend like you didn't see it. Question them when they say they can afford that much money, but you already know enough about their situation to go, maybe not. So ask the question that they don't maybe even want you to ask, but it's necessary so that they can see what's going on for them.
I love it.
You know how many times people have said to me, like, oh, you had to listen so well, or we listen well, because I think that's part of that being client-centric. It's knowing deeply what's driving them to make this move or to buy a property or buy an investment property. And when they're slightly off course and they go, well, that house could work. And then I might say something like, yeah, but didn't you tell me that you wanted, a big kitchen that the whole family could eat together? And this doesn't have that. And they go, oh yeah, you're right. And then we move on to another one, because to me, it's not about making that sale. It's about making the right sale. And that flows right into my second value that I think we protrude or exude, not protrude, that would be a bad word. We exude. And that's integrity. And integrity is one of those words that people throw it around like a shield or something. And I almost don't like saying the word integrity. But when you start to understand what it means to Yetta and I, and that is that no matter what, even if it costs us, we want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
We want to do what's right for our clients. We want to do what's right morally and ethically. And even if we lose because of that, we do the right thing, even if it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a word that people throw around, and it's doing what you say you're going to do and being who you say you are in the world. And it's a difficult one, because integrity at times requires that you do what's hard. And sometimes it requires you say the hard thing
ask the hard question
to your client.
And say the hard thing. That's a little bit of my nemesis is being that, because I consider it confrontational, and yet saying the hard thing that's the best thing for that person is the right thing to do.
And sometimes they won't like you in the moment, but often when they go away and they think about it and they put it in perspective, they truly appreciate it. And so it's a big one.
It is a big one. Yeah. And I'm just thinking about the people that we work with. So they have to start somewhere. They have to sort of begin the dialogue where it feels good to them. And I think one of the ways that we do the right thing is we say there's nowhere too early. There's no time too early to start.
Yeah.
There's no time too early to have that equity review or that equity conversation or that goal conversation, that clarity conversation. There's never a time that's too early because you don't know what nugget you'll pick up. You don't have to be ready to buy.
And I know for myself, one of the things I appreciate about how you work is there's no rush to the close. There is a journey to the close. So we started our conversation 4 years before I purchased, and it was like moving the ball along until the moment. It was like, okay, you're ready now. And I think that's a high level of client-centered work, and I think it's a high level of integrity. Is there a third one?
Well, there is, and I think they all fit together, right? Like they're all fingers inside a glove, fingers in a glove. Got it.
How about in a mitt?
Okay, maybe in a mitt. Harmony. And that's harmony for our clients in the process as much as it depends on us.
Talk more about that.
Well, buying or selling or saving or setting out your financial future, that's not easy. Yeah. That can be, because there's so many conflicting truths, there are so many conflicting opinions and perspectives and all of that. So how do we keep our clients in a state of harmony through the process?
And that means respecting their family events. If there's somebody wants to see a property, but they have a shower or a wedding dinner or something going on, we're going to say, no, we're going to block that time out. Nobody will see your house. We won't inconvenience you. Harmony is important in our life and in our clients' lives. Now, I've got to close this section, and I'm going to
and that's harmony.
And I'm going to do it by saying we're glad that we can clarify your options, because when your options are clear, your decisions are great.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward